I want to welcome everybody to this demonstration. Decisions were made in the death of Jon'iah Nesbitt without his family's permission. But before we get started with this demonstration, let me read my copyright disclaimer. Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. What that means is that everything that you hear in this demonstration is for entertainment and educational purposes only. Salute to the chat. Salute to all of my moderators. Salute to the replay gang. I will entertain the chat in a few minutes. Just give me some time. So the mother of Jon'iah Nesbitt will be joining me on the panel shortly. Just a brief introduction on what has happened in this case. So allegedly, the cops are saying that Jon'iah was speeding, and because he was speeding, it caused him to lose control of his car and ultimately caused his death. Now, his mom, of course, disputes that. And so his mom will be coming on to take us deeper into why she disputed. She's also going to tell us what she feels as though may have happened. Now, on this intersection that Jon'iah was traveling on, 485, I travel on that interstate sometimes as well. So I'm familiar with the intersection. Well, not intersection. I'm familiar with the interstate as well as the exit that Jon'iah took. And when you come off the exit, it's kind of like you're going to be going upwards. So mom definitely feels as though the way how they perceived or the way how the cops talked about it happened, and she's saying Shank Rock, no, it's more to it than just that. Now, I can share with you all this. The mom was showed a picture of Jon'iah's car. Now, in the pictures, it showed both sides. It showed the top of the car, and it showed the front of the car. They never showed the mom pictures of the back of the car. Now, it don't take a rocket scientist to figure something ain't right. A first grader, a second grader could determine if you're going to show pictures of the vehicle, why aren't you showing the back? I mean, an elementary school kid would have that much common sense to want to see the back. So why didn't they show Jon'iah's mom the back of the car? Show both sides, the top, the front. Now, another thing that his mom spoke with me about is his property, his clothing items. They never released his clothing items to the family. She said that they claimed that the funeral home had the clothing. But the funeral home said, ma'am, we don't have his belongings. So, and then as I said before, we could understand if the cops or the hospital was to say, well, the clothing items can only be released to his wife, right? Or the clothing items can only be released to his mom. You know, The clothing items can only be released to his attorney. If you have an attorney, then But in this case, no clothing items have been released. Let me come to my chat briefly, y'all. Let me get my chat. I see you, Mariah. I see you, Leslie, Carla, Shari, Unavailable, Sean, Missy, Trigger Talk, Tiffany, Kamara. All right. Shari says they trying to hide something. That's facts, Shari. You know they trying to hide something. Kamara says they actually are. I see you, Miss Douglas. I see you, Jeremiah. Glad to see family and friends of Jon'iah is in the chat. So make sure we give the family and friends of Jon'iah a warm welcome. Jeremiah is family and friends. D3 is family and friends. Forever, Joni, we love and miss you. It's just a tragedy all the way around how you look at it. And I have to ask everyone that's watching this, please share this to whatever social media platform you have. If you're on Facebook, please share this to Facebook, YouTube, any social media platform you have. Share Jon'iah's story. Share this live. And can I get everybody to throw up some prayer hands as well as hashtag justice for Jon'iah Nesbitt. The importance of sharing the live is because the family can't get no media attention. The family reached out to me, and the family says, Shank, we can't find nobody. We can't get nobody that's willing to step in and at least hear Jon'iah's story. And I say it all the time. Today, we're advocating for Jon'iah. Tomorrow, I might have to be advocating for your loved ones. So as a community, let's help the family of Jon'iah Nesbitt by sharing this to help it go viral. Unfortunately, until stories go viral, it don't get mainstream attention. Until the stories go viral, attorneys don't want to touch it. But that's okay. That's okay. That's okay. That's what the community is here for. The community is here to say, all right, y'all don't want to give us no press. Y'all don't want to give us no media attention. All right. As the young folks say today, we're going to get it out of the mud. We're going to take Jon'iah's story out of the mud, and we're going to sharpen it up, and we're going to shine it up, and we're going to put it in everybody's face. Appreciate this super chat, Miss Douglas. Thanks for covering this story, praying for the family and friends. And if you would like to help me reach my goal, I do have a goal of 15 super stickers or super chats. Just click on the $ symbol and purchase a super sticker or a super chat. Appreciate you, Miss Douglas. I see you, Sasha. I see you, Tiffany. And so I do have Jon'iah's mom, and I'm going to bring her up. How you doing, Mom Dukes?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Mm.
Now, for all of y'all that don't know, this is Mom Duke's second time being on the panel with me. And so far, Mom Dukes, the audio is perfect. So we ain't going to waste no time. We're going to jump straight into this demonstration. What type of son was Jon'iah? Tell us the type of son Jon'iah is.
There you go. There you go. You got it. You got it. So, thank you. He is very lovable, laid back, chill. Um, barely, he don't make no noise whatsoever. He's all about family. He love his family, love being around, his family, holidays, whatever. Christmas is his favorite holiday. He's literally like a big kid when it, comes to that. So definitely, yeah.
What, was he a drinker? Did he drink alcohol? Did he drink beer?
No, no. That
So,
wasn't his thing.
so when it comes to the accident, we can rule that out. He definitely wasn't under the influence of any kind of alcohol.
No, no, no
Okay.
alcohol. Mhm.
Take us back to the accident.
So um, the accident happened on January 7th at midnight around that time frame. And so I didn't get a call until 2:30 that day, or next day rather, in the afternoon. So 12 hours later, got a call that he was involved in a car accident, and he was in the ICU. And so I rushed to the hospital immediately.
So you said over 10 hours at least went by before you even received the call. Who called you?
The hospital, they called. Mm, yeah, so it happened, they say, around 12:07. Around 12:07, that night. And I didn't get a call until 2:30. So right at, 12 hours before I'm even notified that my child was in an accident. Yeah.
Yep. And when you got to the hospital, what was the scene? What was going on at the hospital when you arrived?
When I arrived, he was in a room by himself. He was in a room, and I immediately, started calling his name, talking to him, and he started, to move and wiggle his hips and whatnot. So immediately, like probably 3 minutes later, family started coming, trickling in. So, now it's a lot of people instantly, and everyone is just talking to him and telling him to move and get up, and just talking to him. And he's trying to talk to us and respond. He's wiggling his hips, his legs, and his hands. He kept raising his hands, swatting it at the, because he had a ventilator in his mouth, so he's swatting it at, at the ventilator. It wasn't just regular, just throw his hands up. So um yeah, when we got there, there wasn't anyone there. It wasn't um, no police or anybody. Yeah.
As a mom, what was going through your mind?
What was going through my mind is what happened. Like what happened? I really was just in shock, and honestly, still to this day, I'm just in shock. Still, it just plays and play through my head daily. But in that moment, I was just in shock, like what happened? Why didn't anyone, call me? Like I could have been here. We would have been here by his side. So many things could have, been done. Because by the time, we are there 12 hours later, they're telling us that it's nothing that they can do. And a lot can happen in 12 hours. Um, so by that time, I'm sure there's not much possibly that could have been done. But had we known within a timely manner, we probably really wouldn't be having this conversation right now.
Now, when you speak with the state troopers, because it was the state trooper that spoke with you, correct?
Yes.
What did they say to you that happened?
Um, well, for one, like I said, when we got there, no one was there. So a friend of the family made some phone calls, and um, maybe an hour later, 4 state troopers showed up, and they said that they were not, on the scene. So they don't know exactly what happened. They just know that he was involved in a car accident. And that's pretty much it. They didn't know anything. They had no type of answers for us at all.
When did you find out exactly what they said happened? Was it in the police report? Did did anybody tell you that may have been a witness? Who was it exactly that told you what happened as far as the accident?
As far as the accident, we started to learn things a little while we were there at the hospital. This is during his, stay during that 3-week period. Um, and then afterwards, really started learning of, what really took place after conversations that I was having with people, talking, with people. One of the troopers came to the hospital probably like a week since we were there at the hospital, and said that he was coming to check up on him. And I was confused. I'm like, what do you mean check up on him? He said, we sometimes we come and check up on, the people we bring in from a car accident. And I said, well, no, you don't. I've never seen you guys come and check up on anybody you bring in from a car accident. Um, so that was suspicious to me for just come, up out the blue and inquire about how he was doing.
And so you said after y'all doing your research, your own research, what happened? What was
So
supposed?
what happened is that the state trooper was chasing them, and hit him with hit the back of the car, and ran them off the road. So that's what really happened, and that's what makes sense because what we got, and from the fabricated 3 sentence police report, is that um, vehicle 1 was driving on 45 north, vehicle 1 traveling at 80, 100 miles per hour, and ran off the road and hit the embankment and up the hill. And that's all that the police report said. Literally, that's it. Just very cutthroat. Just nothing. Nothing at all. There wasn't no images of the trooper's car on the report. It was just blank. Just blank.
And you had said that they showed you pictures of the car. They showed both sides. They showed the top. They showed the front, but they didn't show the back. Could that be the reason why they didn't show the back of Jon'iah's cars? Because in fact, then that would prove that the state trooper ran into him.
Exactly. There were over 30 pictures, and you got the top of the car, the sides, both sides, the driver and the passenger, the front of the car, pictures of inside the car, but there's no picture of the back of the car. Not one. Not one.
Let me come to my chat real quick. Appreciate this membership, Mari. Appreciate this super sticker, Mari. Appreciate the super sticker, Nia. Appreciate this super chat, Nia. Nia says, I love you so much, Rhea. Justice for Jon'iah Nesbitt. Hashtag forever, Johnny. Hashtag justice for my family. Make sure y'all are hashtagging justice for Jon'iah Nesbitt and the other hashtags as well. Appreciate this super sticker, Leslie. Now, you also indicated that you never received his property, his clothing items. Have you received them yet? Still haven't received them.
Still haven't received them. It's been a tug of war of who has it. State troopers say the CMPD officers have it. CMPD said there's no reason, or they wouldn't have it because they were only there to assist with the traffic, which again doesn't make any sense because, as we all know, at midnight on 45 specifically, there's no traffic on that highway at all. So to 8 to 10 cops to assist with traffic, that's another thing with that's just not adding up. There's no, like I said, for 10 cops to, along, with CMPD and state troopers there on the scene for a 1-car accident. Wasn't 2 vehicles, I could see if it was 2 vehicles and, it's a thing, but just 1 vehicle, no other vehicles involved in this accident. And, we had as many as 8 to 10 law enforcement on the scene. And no one knows where his belongings are. So they say, and I have not yet to receive them. I've been calling around, going to this place and that one, trying to, get some answers as to where they are. And like I said, it's just been a back and forth of it.
What about any witnesses? What were there anyone else in the car with him? Any witnesses came forward?
So yeah, there definitely, some witnesses involved. And like I said, when we were there in the hospital, the that night it came out of air that this accident was on 45. So, when people learned that that was, my son, we got a couple calls. Got a couple calls, and to that is what happened as well, confirming what we were thinking and what we pretty much know. Yeah.
And so you said they said it was an accident. However, there was no other vehicles involved. Only Jon'iah's vehicle was the only vehicle that was involved. Correct?
Correct.
Did you
Correct.
go, did you go out to the site where the accident allegedly that they claim took place?
Yes. Yes.
What
Yeah.
did
When
Go ahead. Go ahead.
um so when we, went out there, when they say the accident took place, is going around, the ramp. You're coming around a ramp, and he knows that exit. He knows that highway. He knows, how those exits are. So there would be no reason at all he would just be going 100 miles per hour around that ramp. And even where this embankment is just, a flat surface around. So if the car hit the embankment, or right there, you would think the car would bounce back or go to the side or this side or what have you. But to hit the embankment and go up the hill, and it's a pretty good hill.
Mhm.
I don't see, I don't see it. I don't see it. I don't see it. How that could. Mm-mm.
And on 485, what exit was it? Exit 18 or 21?
I think 23.
23.
The
Okay.
23. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'm familiar with it. Like I said, I take that exit all the time. And as you said, midnight, there ain't no traffic on no 485. The
Mm-mm.
only time you're going to catch traffic on 485, not even in that exit, but the only time you'll catch traffic on 485 is probably 7 a.m. to maybe 9 a.m. Then you'll catch some
Mm-mm.
traffic during rush hours, 4:30 to maybe 6:30 p.m. But 12 midnight, it ain't no traffic on 485.
Mm-mm. No,
It's not.
it's not. It's no traffic out there, and them knowing that, and why they did what they did, knowing that is not anyone around. So they thought. But sometimes people be in the right places just at the right time. But for the most part, no one there. So something that they thought that as they could get away with, and to just make up this police report that we wasn't even given. We had to find it ourselves. No one gave us the police report. We had to go searching, for it ourselves. It's like everything is so secretive, and it's just
What was there an autopsy report or toxicology report?
no.
Let me grab a few comments from the comment section. PJ says prayers and condolences for you and your entire family. Justice for Jon'iah. Shari says, I love you, Mom Dukes and family, and I pray Jon'iah gets the justice he deserves. And I pray, and our prayer gives you strength and comfort to endure. Leslie says, sounds like another Karen Lacey. And we do have Grandma. Grandma, if you want to come back up on the panel, Grandma, you could click on that blue StreamYard link that I dropped in the chat if you want to come back up on the panel. Have you reached out? Have you reached out to any attorneys?
Yeah, we've been reaching out to attorneys, and to now where, we're looking out in a whole nother, cities, states. The ones here, they don't want to go up against their people. And that's just pretty much, what it leads to, because it's not there in black and white written that this is what happened. And then the fact of who it's involving, that's just something that they're not willing to do. And I mean, we have everything, what got everything, all the facts that leads to pointing to this is what happened, along with witnesses, first responders on the scene. It's, all we need is the body cam, which is another thing that we've been denied since the accident. I've been asking for since day one. And to my understanding, families are, required to see that body cam. It's the mother, father, or legal representative, whoever that may be, what have you, can see the body cam. But again, everything is so secret, top secret, that being denied that as well, which is why, I have to go another route and to get in the body cam.
That's sad. That's sad. No pictures of the back of the vehicle, won't release his property, won't release the body cam. What are y'all trying to hide? I'll tell y'all what y'all trying to hide. Y'all trying to hide the death of Jon'iah Nesbitt that was caused by Mecklenburg County. That's what y'all are trying to hide.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been covering a similar case where, as though the evidence is there, the paperwork is in black and white, but attorneys don't want to touch it. Media don't want to touch it. And in my opinion, I think that sucks because, as I said earlier, when this story, when Jon'iah's story go viral, then here comes the attorneys. Here comes the media. Now the work that you put in, they're going to come in and just take the case and they ain't going to have to do no work. Why? Because you didn't already put in the work. And it's sad because, as I said before, we're not dealing with a stray animal. We're not dealing with a wild animal. We're dealing with the life of a young man by the name of Jon'iah Nesbitt, who was a wonderful son, a wonderful big brother, a wonderful grandson, a wonderful uncle, a wonderful friend. We're just not dealing with just no anybody. You know, we want the same justice, we want the same treatment for Jon'iah that anybody that loses a loved one, anyone. And then y'all go as far as to cover it up. What did Jon'iah do to y'all? What did Jon'iah mean to Mecklenburg County? He may not have meant much to you all, but according to his family, he meant the world to them. Mom Dukes, tell us in your own words, what did Jon'iah mean to you?
He means, I mean, everything, every and anything. He made me, who I am today. He is my first child, so he seen me grow up. I seen him grow up. Um, he just so humble and respectful and just, laid back. Is nothing that I could ask him to do and he wouldn't do it. Um, you might have to ask him a couple times, especially if he's asleep or whatnot. But he's very, 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 very special to me and everybody. And I speak for everybody, the entire family, and friends when I say this. He was just he's a lovable person that you just it's not a inching in his body. I've never we were talking about that not too long ago of him yelling or going off or whatever, but we've never heard him raise his voice, or talk back or anything. He just never, he's very, very special. He means the world to me, and I will do anything for him, always and forever. Will do anything for him, for any of my children, you know, and like I tell my children, God forbid had this, if it was you or this one or that one, I would be the same. I would do the same thing for you. It's no different. It's no different, especially when in this situation, it wasn't just a freak accident that happened or whatnot. This is, the law enforcement deliberately took him away from us, knowing that high speed chases are illegal in North Carolina. If it gets to more than 55 miles per hour, you're not supposed to pursue that chase. If the person is not in the middle of committing a crime, he didn't just rob a bank, a store, have someone held at gunpoint. There's no felony charge going on. He doesn't have any felony charges. So it's just no reason for this to, have happened to take place at all. He didn't deserve it. He didn't deserve it. They didn't have to do that. I really would like to know. I really like to know why. Why did this happen? And why did you feel the need to bump the back of the car? What happened? It's all we want is answers. And we can't not getting anything.
And we also have Grandma on the panel. I'm gonna bring Grandma in after I ask Mom Dukes this question, because for me being a black man, and I watch how when we are victims, for some
Hmm.
reason, the media, they always try to portray us as not the victims. They always try to bring a dark side, and they always forget that we are the victims. So for me, I like to focus on the good things. I like to show the people exactly what this man is. Now, I got to come to you about before when you said that he was going to the studio to rap. I, you, you made me laugh. Let's go back to when he was talking about going to the studio and rapping, Mom Dukes.
Yeah, so he would, he'll come because anytime he, get ready to leave out, and that's another thing, no matter how old he is, and you in my house, you staying with me, he would come, Mom, I'm getting ready to go. I'm getting ready to go to such and such, or I'm getting ready to go to the store. I'll be right back. You got to tell me something. So he told me that he was getting ready to go to the studio with his homeboys, and I was like, the studio? I said, what you going to do? You going to listen? Because you can't rap. So he would die laughing, and he just laugh. He thought it was so funny. And I was like, where you going? He was like, nah, I'm going, with them. But then later we, learn and find out like, oh, he's rapping. He really is rapping. So when we found out, I'm like, oh, you rapping, you ain't said nothing to nobody. And that's how he is. He's so quiet and laid back and secretive about, things. But the whole time he going to the studio with them, all right, but he's putting down his verses too, and it's good. It sounds real good.
My mom did me
Sound-
the same way. Rapping. Boy, you better go get a job. Nobody gonna listen to you.
Yes. That was definitely look, such and such hiring. They hiring, they having a job fair. And I always told them that. Got your resume ready.
What
Yeah.
what one one thing that I will say about black moms, I will say about black moms, y'all is going to keep it real with y'all sons until we prove y'all wrong. We gonna have to prove y'all wrong. Now it's no disrespect to the other mothers out there, but a black mom, she gonna keep it real with you, and you gonna have to prove her wrong. So
Definitely. Gonna have to. You're gonna have to. Definitely gonna keep it all the way real, whether you like it or not. I'm
mhm,
not that mom that, oh, well, want to make you, hurt you feel. No, I'm gonna tell you the truth. Tell you the
mhm.
truth.
And we be like, but mom, I'm your son. And y'all be like, I know. That's why I'm keeping it real with you.
Very,
Let,
very.
let me let grandma slide in for a few minutes. How you doing, grandma?
I'm good
Why are you smiling, grandma?
for my grandbaby.
That's right. Now, we heard what type of son Jon'iah is. Did I get it right, Mom Dukes?
You got it right.
All right.
Got it
Now,
right.
grandma, tell us what type of grandson Jon'iah is.
He the sweetest thing I know.
You just saying that
You
because
know,
he your grand.
you
You
know,
just saying that
no,
because he your grandson. Go ahead.
you, you know how Kurt Franklin sang that song.
Mhm.
I, and he the sweetest thing I know. He just so quiet and humble, and Lord knows my grandbaby missed. And then he got me when he started rapping. Grandma, I know how to rap. I said, no, you don't, boy. No, you don't. Then, but I didn't hear his music until after he passed, and the guys was playing it, and I was like, "Wow, that is my baby." I'm gonna get that song put in my into the bear where you can have it, and you'll have the voice in it. That's my first grandbaby. He just had a birthday, September 30, and I got my yard decorated with happy birthday, 21st birthday, all this kind of stuff. And his dad said, Mom, when you gonna take that down? I said, I'm not. He told me, but it's over, his birthday over. I said, I don't care, but he gonna be 21 for a whole year. So it's gonna stay right there for a whole year. It's gonna stay just like that outside.
Yes, yes,
Them,
yes.
them people done, that's the worst thing they ever could have done was mess with my baby. Lord knows they did. Mm-mm-mm. I was at a wedding yesterday, me and his step granddad, but it's his granddad. And we sitting there looking at his niece and her husband do their first dance. And we both started crying at the same time, saying that we won't ever get to see our grandbaby do that. We won't never see him have his first dance with his wife. We won't get to see none of that. And it's so painful. And then at this point, nobody wants to tell us anything. I went to Ben Crump. I'm sure you're familiar with him.
Yes, ma'am.
And they had started calling me like 2 months ago, and I would see the number, but I would never answer it. So it called one day, and then it called again the next day, and the next day. I said, let me go ahead and answer this phone and see who this is. And it was Ben Crump's associates that he have to, I guess, handle his stuff. And so I told them I didn't want to do the talking. I gave him his mom's number and told him to talk with her, and she would be able to let him know whatever it is she wants them to know. I didn't want to overstep my boundaries, so I transferred that call to her, and I don't know what happened after that. But I'm just thankful that they saw what I sent, that it did something to them to even call us to ask about what happened. Because I'm sure they get tons and tons of calls, but I was grateful that they returned a call on his case.
Mom Dukes, would you like to share with us what happened or if they called you?
Yeah, I spoke to them, but it
Beneficial.
wasn't, yeah, it wasn't beneficial at all. Yeah, so
But we gonna still keep trying. Like she stated earlier, that we're trying to reach out to attorneys that's not in North Carolina or South Carolina, because they're not trying to do nothing. We've called, we've done stuff, and I don't know, guess because they ride for the police or whatever, so they didn't want to, take the case or nothing. But we're not giving up. We're gonna keep trying and trying and trying until we find somebody that wants to um, hear our story.
That's right. Make sure
yeah.
everybody is sharing this out. Come on in, Mom Dukes. I'm sorry. Come on, Mom Dukes.
I said, definitely sharing this story, hearing the story, and like I told you, before last week, at this point, all we need, is that body cam. We get the footage, and that's going to tell the story right there. But I mentioned to you, that trooper's name who's on the report is not even the trooper who was on the scene, and we know and believe that reason for that is when we request, body cam footage, of course it would be for the one who did the police report, and we wouldn't see anything or get anything from it. But I have the other, officers who were there, who on the scene and, did this. So
And
yeah,
we have a lot more information, but most of it is going to be private until we
Right.
find somebody that's willing to take our case or listen to what we have to say, where we can, tell them actually what we know and what we know to be true.
That's right.
So right now what we're doing is just trying to get the word out so somebody can give us a call so we can, have that conversation with them. We can't share but so much.
Okay. Are y'all familiar with Kircher Law Group? Somebody in the chat, Lena B says Kircher Law Group. Y'all might want to, if y'all haven't, y'all might want to reach out to Kircher Law Group, KECER,
Okay.
and get at a try. Now, see, for me, like I said,
thank you.
in these cases, like this case, is right there, but they'll have cases that is, excuse my language, but they'll have BS cases and they'll convict people on BS cases. Like the case with that woman, it was a white woman. She, it was years ago. She dreamed that the black guy sexually assaulted her. She had a dream that this black guy sexually assaulted her, and they found him guilty.
Terrible.
Yeah, never
Yeah,
heard of that. That
yeah,
is ridiculous.
yes. And the cases go on and on and on as far as BS, But when these cases like Jon'iah's case, look, the proof is in the pudding, is right here. I mean, let's get the body cam footage. They won't release that body cam footage for a reason. Okay, here comes an attorney. The attorney gets the body cam footage released. There you go, right there.
There you go.
Yep.
And that's just my next thing, really calling and asking what is it that we have to pay? What can we pay for you to get the body cam at this? That's all I need your services for. Is to help me get the body cam that for whatever reason, top secret, you will not let me have access to, and I have that right. So, at this point, help us get the body cam footage. We know why, you know, we know there's foul play on it, but we need to see it. We need to see
And
it so that still to this day we don't know what happened to him. We don't know. We only know from what they said. And what they
and
said
we so
don't
much
be true.
and not so much the body cam, of course we need that, but we also need a dash cam um report also.
Mm.
The dash cam basically is what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
What about internal affairs? Somebody asked, did y'all go through internal affairs?
Yeah,
No, we
that's in
haven't.
process. Well, that's in
Oh,
process.
you did?
It's a process. Yeah.
Did life go with them?
And I'm sure if it was caused by Jon'iah, I'm sure the family would say, well, it's something that we got to live with. But if they're not getting the answers to prove it, and that's the thing, they have that right.
Exactly.
I mean,
Exactly.
I can ask Mom Dukes and Grandma more questions about what type of son, what type of grandson, what type of man was Jon'iah. They're going to keep saying he was a beautiful son, he was a beautiful grandson, he didn't cause no problems, this, that, all of the above. You're not talking about a straight animal. You're not. He isn't an animal. He's not a criminal. And we see criminals, they give all kind of rights to criminals.
Right. Right.
So help us understand, how do convicted criminals get all kind of rights, all kind of benefits, but a beautiful soul such as this young man who didn't cause no problems,
Baby.
how is it that he don't
Well, we're
get
not
justice?
giving up. We're not giving up. We're not giving up. If we got to fight this for the rest of our lives, we're gonna find something. We're gonna get something done. And my thing is, right, wrong, or indifferent, we gonna ride for that one.
That's
We
facts.
riding for my baby. Right, wrong, or indifferent, we riding for that one.
That's right. Let me grab
Yeah.
a few comments from my chat. Kamara says, my son died in 2013 the way he did. My condolences to you, Kamara. Leslie says,
Yeah.
yep, they found him guilty of a dream. Rita says, you can go through eternal fast, set all that up for you. All right. Kamara says, right, because I thought that situation. Ms. Douglas says, the fact that they're not giving them all the evidence proves their guilt. Justice for the family. And even attorneys, and I know the attorneys got to make their money. There you go. What's up, little man?
What's up?
What's going on with you?
My baby.
I'm glad to see you. I see that smile. You remind me of my grandson. All right, we got another one. Okay, I see y'all. Tell me some stories about Jon'iah, like being a big brother. Tell me a story. Like, was he like playful with y'all? Did he like? Because when I was young, my big brother used to pour cold water on my face while I'm asleep. What type of big brother was Jon'iah to y'all? Come on.
You
a
got
fun
this
brother.
story.
He was a fun brother and liked to play a lot. Pour water, like you said.
What he do to your neck?
Slap me while I'm asleep. He'll light me. He'll pick up a lighter and try to light my ear.
Put it so you can say something.
Oh man.
Say something. Tell me what kind of brother he was.
My brother, he was a good brother. I tell you. He was fun. He liked to play. Every time we asked him for $20, he gave us $20.
There you go. There you go.
Yeah, y'all got the
Fun
best.
brother. And when I asked for DoorDash, he would give it to me.
They give it to you.
That's the DoorDash king right there. He gonna have DoorDash coming.
Yeah, he do that when he be over here tomorrow, do. When he over here, that's what he do.
At 2 o'clock in the morning, he got DoorDash.
Yeah.
He was good. He was good. Well, he is a good. So, yes, indeed. He's a good soul.
Sweet.
Jon'iah was
But
the best any auntie could ask for.
Yeah.
We got an auntie. Where auntie at? Come on the camera, auntie.
I'm here. I got on nightwear.
Okay.
I'm October. But yeah, Jon'iah was Jon'iah is. He's very special to our family, to friends. truly a deep, saddened loss that we had to take and still answer questions. The treatment throughout the whole 21 days of him being in the hospital was horrific. Just sitting there watching, like, you know, how they treated my sister, how they treated family, them telling, like, repeatedly saying, hey, you know, he's not going to make it. Or if he make it, he's going to be on the ventilator all his life. And we're just like, you know, suggesting, making suggestions, any suggestions that could save his life, possibly. They just kept denying us. So the very horrific, but blessed 21 days that we got to spend an additional 21 days with him. Although we could have spent it with him on his 21st birthday instead of 21 days in the hospital. Um, they definitely took someone who mean the world to all of us, the firstborn on both sides. He's like a friend to me. My everything, my best friend, brother, all the titles. Like, you know, anyone can hold in life. He definitely held all his titles well.
Very.
So true.
Like every title he held, he did well. Like all his friends, just hearing his friends how highly they speak of him and the impact he made on so many young people, like even older people, say he's the only young, like, you know, young man in this generation that carry himself with so much respect and humbleness, like wanting to learn, just be a jack of all trades and just trying to be like, you know, wild and no type of plan with their life. So it's just very unfortunate it was cut short just due to like, you know, the reckless behavior on the police side and the hospital side, because the hospital played a major part in it without notifying us 12 hours later. And we strongly believe he would have survived because it's no telling what the police did to him and the treatment that they provided him within a 12-hour time frame of not contacting family. Because when we got there, everybody crying, praying over him. He's ready to hop out the hospital bed. Then all of a sudden, you guys just put him in a coma. It's like you guys purposely was trying to kill him. Then you mispronounced him dead. Thank God I have a smart sister who got an apnea test done, which proved he wasn't. We were even seeing what is it called, the monitor? He was making progress.
Yeah.
Like he caught pneumonia when he was in the hospital just from the improper treatment that they gave him. And it's no way, like the nurses were awesome, but the doctors, it's like they had a secret agenda. It was just like a crazy experience just to be a part of.
It really was. It really, really was to be on, you know, that side of things. And you hear these stories, you know, every day, and to have to go through it yourself and actually see it and deal with it firsthand, and just from how things were, you know, upon arrival, I knew that I wasn't leaving anyway, but I knew that there was no way that I was going to leave him there with them, you know, in their care. You had some who, you know, at certain points, if you turned him a certain way, it would cause his blood pressure to raise up. So he couldn't be turned in certain positions. And you had some, you know, of the nurses who would do it anyway, or try to anyway. Into, you know, I'm having, hey, no, you can't turn them that way. You have to do it this way. So, you know, I'm there doing this or helping do that, this or that, so we can keep his blood pressure down and not raising up. It was very a wild experience, even from them requesting, you know, his organs, you know, immediately. Just
before he was even pronounced.
Just kept asking, and there's someone who comes and talk to the family, palliative care, which they did, speak to us about it. Like that's their job to do. And, we let them know that, no, that's not something that we wanted to do. But still, the doctors were continuously asking for his organs, asking for his organs. And we like, no, 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 no. They had to go next level at one point, because it was just repeatedly, and the doctors are not even supposed to mention that to you unless, you mention it to them and you tell them, hey, this is what I want to do. But that wasn't the case. That wasn't the case. It was a lot. It was a lot. And to this to happen, that shouldn't even have happened. It shouldn't have happened. We need answers. We want to know why, and we want to know what happened. Definitely. So, if we can get the help with that, it's gonna take more than just us. We're out here working, doing the groundwork, and we need to talk to, putting in, complaints where they need to go, and everything that, we can do and we know how to do, but we need help. So we need help with this matter, because from what we're telling you, along with a lot more, evidence and things that we have, we got to get down to the bottom of this, because I'm not going to rest. No one is. No one is, until we know what happened to our baby. That's our baby. That's everyone's everything. There's not anyone who disliked him. Nobody. He was loved by everybody, anybody.
Wow. The fact that they keep mentioning the organ donor thing, we know what it is. And we gotta call a spade a spade. When it comes to organs from Black people, we know that they is worth a lot of money. Come on, you know.
Very much so. Very much so. Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
D3 says Jon'iah loved his siblings, the oldest of 8. He will forever be missed. Great Big Brother sounds like their smiles say it all. They look just like their brother. There it is. Release the body cam footage. I see you, Miss Antoinette. Was Kendrick Johnson August gone also? I'm here for it. When will it stop? When will it stop? When will it stop? Is it anything else that you would like to share with us, Mom Dukes, before we get out of here?
No, I just want to tell, everyone, I appreciate you, everyone, who's definitely been riding with us and behind us and helping us, calls or food, whatever, prayers. We appreciate everything. Keep sharing, reposting, the story. This video here. And if you know someone, please send them our way. We want to get, the answers and things that we need in order for some form of peace to, come to our family.
Well, Mom Dukes, thank you for choosing my platform, because you ain't had to choose my platform. You could have been like, I ain't taking my son's story on his platform. So I'm honored. I'm honored to have you choose my platform to bring your son's story.
Mm-hmm.
We're praying. And if it's anyone that's listening to this that can be of any of assistance to Jon'iah's mom, please reach out to us, because she needs some assistance. All right? Well, Mom Dukes, may you have a good night, and I'll talk to you soon, okay?
You as well. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. Take care here.
You too. Thank you.
All right. Rock Squad, we got our work cut out. No mom should have to experience what Jon'iah's mom is experiencing. No grandma, no auntie, no brothers, no family members should have to experience what this family is experiencing. Like I said, we are all we got. Make sure you share the demonstration. Make sure you share the live. This demonstration, we're advocating for justice for Jon'iah Nesbitt. The next demonstration, we might be advocating for your loved ones. All right, so always keep that in mind. Salute everybody. I appreciate everybody for pulling up, and I will see everybody on the next demonstration. Salute everybody. Shank Rock is the wave of the future. The diagrams that I have up, where did this go wrong at?
Remember, we didn't know this happened to her.
Oh. That's how they figured out she was pregnant.
Around 3 o'clock that morning, I got random text messages, and it was just pictures of her and the other little girl. I thought it was strange.